Let's talk about the most often missed putt in golf. And no, I'm not talking about that 60-footer that you leave 4 feet long or short. That's actually a pretty good putt from that distance. I'm talking about the putt that you know you ought to make, or at least you think you should make most of the time, but you somehow miss a lot of them. And that's the short 3 to 6 foot long putt with some break or some downhill or side hill to it. We're going to talk about why we miss so many of those and how to make more. So those short 3 to 5 or 6 feet long, slippery side hill, downhill putts. I see more people miss those than any other putt they ought to make. And the reason for that miss most often is failure to commit. We either don't commit to the line or we don't commit to the speed because it's downhill, because it's got some break, and we're nervous about that. So today we're going to talk about how to fix that. One first thing that you have to do is commit to a speed. Now for these putts, the speed is simple, and I operate on the old saying or the old principle of never up, never in. In other words, if you hit it too soft and it doesn't get to the hole, it doesn't go in. We miss a lot of these because we hit them too soft, we're nervous and tentative because it's downhill or has break, and we hit it too soft and it breaks more than we anticipated, or it doesn't get there and it breaks away from the hole, or the hole's crowned because where they use the tool that makes the hole, it pulled it up a little bit and so it stops right on the edge of the hole. So you've got to commit to a speed. And the speed for me, for these putts, or for any putt for that matter, 10 feet or less, is I want to hit it firm enough that if I miss, it goes 6 to 8 inches past the hole, no more than a foot past. So my goal is speed that gets it 6 to 8 inches past the hole. That's fast enough to get it in. Also makes it work if you miss. You don't go so far past that you have one of those scary putts coming back to finish out. And the reason that we leave so many putts short is actually a subconscious psychological thing. What happens is as we hit the ball and it's rolling towards the hole, it's constantly getting closer. But once it gets to the hole, it's rolling further and further away. And so our mind tricks us into thinking, oh, we've got to be gentle, and we leave it short. When the fact and the reality is 6 inches short or 4 inches long or 6 inches long, it's the same. A foot short or 8 inches long, or 1 inch short or 8 inches too long. They're all the same because you're not going to miss the next one anyway. So on these putts that you think you ought to make, commit to a speed that's fast enough to get it there and go 6, 8, and to go 6 or 8 inches, no more than a foot, past the hole. Now the second thing is to commit to a line. The line on most of these putts is straight in. Even if it has a little bit of break, and let's say you're 3 feet away, aim straight at the stick. I leave the flag stick in, you may leave it out. If you leave it out, go at the back of the cup. But line up your putter, see the line, and hit the ball straight up that line at the stick. And the idea, the concept here is aim small, miss small. Pick a very tiny target and hit that. Let's say this putt has a little bit of a break from right to left. Okay, if it's 3 feet, I'm going straight at the stick at that speed that I've already committed to, and I'm committing to that line. If let's say it's 6 feet, well, it's got a little bit more time to break, and I'm going to go at the edge of the stick. And let's stop right there and talk about that. I have 4 lines and only 4 lines on putts of this distance. And again, the concept is aim small, miss small. Line number 1, straight at the stick. My thought process, the phrase I hear in my head is T-bone the stick. Just smack it straight on the stick, straight in. That's the first line. Second line is edge of the stick. If I know it's got a significant or a fair amount of break and I want to make sure it goes in, I aim the putt straight up that line at the edge of the stick, and it breaks and hits the center of the stick. The third line is off the stick. That's halfway between the stick and the edge of the hole, and it's straight up that line, and when there's enough break, it goes in to the middle of the stick. The fourth line is inside edge. And now by inside edge, I don't mean where it stays out. I mean if the ball were to stop exactly at the hole, it's enough on the inside edge that gravity would cause it to fall in. At that speed, if you pick one of those four lines, you're going to make way more of these putts. And by the way, I never virtually, it has to have an extreme amount of break for me to go outside edge or outside the hole, almost never at this distance. So commit to a speed fast enough to get to the hole and be no more than 6 or 8 inches past if you miss. Number 2, commit to a line. On the stick, edge of the stick, off the stick, inside edge. That's the only 4 lines you need. Commit to that speed, one of those 4 lines based on the amount of break and the distance. And then the third thing is quiet eyes, quiet, still head, see the putter face hit the ball. I want to see the face of my putter strike the ball. And then here's a key thing. I never see putts of this distance go in the hole. I hear them go in the hole. Don't see it go in the hole. Quiet eyes, quiet head, focused on the target. Make the stroke. Listen for the sound. It's a lovely sound, isn't it? That's what you need to do on those 3 things. By the way, you ought to practice these a little bit. Go out on the green, pick a hole that's downhill, got a little bit of break to it, put 4 or 5 balls out on the ground, and putt at those balls. Yeah, some of them will be uphill, but practice one of those 4 lines. Practice some with a little more pace, some with a little less pace, because it is true that on a rare occasion, one's got so much break or so much downhill that you can't hardly stop it within 6 or 8 inches of the hole if it goes past. So you want to hit those at a die speed that just barely trickles in there. Again, that's very rare, but you practice all of these with different paces and one of those 4 different lines, and you work on that a little bit. If you'll try this, you'll make more of those putts. Focus and commit to a line. Focus and commit to a speed that gets the ball to the hole, no more than 6 or 8 inches past the hole. See the putter face hit the ball and hear it go in the hole. So this is 3 feet. It's pretty steeply sloped from right to left. So I'm going to go stick edge because this putt will break even in 3 feet. And let's see what I can do. Aimed at the edge of the stick, visualize that. Boom. Started at the edge of the stick and it hit. Now, so this is a 6-footer, a lot of break, which means I'm going to go right on the edge, just outside this piece of grass hanging in the hole. On the very edge, just enough speed to go 6 or 8 inches past, which is not much. Now, let's go. See the putter face hit the ball. Just like that. So I'm going to miss this one on purpose to give you an idea of the speed. Well, I didn't miss that one. Let's miss this one on purpose to give you an idea of the speed. Again, that's how far you want to be past. If you miss, no more than that. Let's do this from 3 feet. All right? That's 3 feet, 36 inches. And I want to illustrate all 4 lines from 3 feet. Line number 1, T-bone at center of the stick. Boom. Line number 2, right edge of the stick. This should break and hit the center. And it did. Line number 3, off the stick. So this is halfway between the stick and the edge of the hole. And you noticed it went and hit right there on the right-hand side of the stick. Line number 3, edge. Edge inside edge. And you notice a little slower on that one, and it broke right to the outside edge. About 5 feet, and I really don't like giving away the hole, so I'm gonna give it just enough pace and go inside right edge. So if you'll try that, commit to a speed, commit to a line, focus on seeing the putter face hit the ball, and not seeing the ball go in the hole, but hearing the ball go in the hole. If you'll do those 3 things and practice it a little bit, you'll make a lot more of those short, tricky, slippery putts that we all miss way too often. And if you like making more putts, then you ought to like, subscribe, share, and comment on this video.